Hey guys, Mangrel here, and today we're going to do another video quality comparison using my custom made mount. Over the past few months, I've been flying both the Hero5 Session and the Hero7 Black, and I'm having a tough time deciding on which one to move forward with. Each one seems to have its disadvantages and its advantages, but let's focus on the video quality of both. I've done flights back to back on both cameras, but this time around we've created a custom mount so that we can do flights in the same exact condition at the same exact time. We're going to run both cameras with the same settings and both of them with an ND4 filter. Here's how the video looks like straight from the camera with no processing whatsoever. And these are using the same settings for the most part. The Hero7 is using 2.7K 60 frames per second Super View. Of course, Pro Tune on, and the shutter is locked to 1/120, which is twice the FPS. ISO min 100, ISO max 200. The Hero5 is using very similar settings, but of course it can't do 60 frames per second, so it's doing the 30. Here the shutter is locked to 160, which is twice the frame rate. And of course you can't lock the ISO to 100, so it's got a max ISO set as 400. All right, let's take a look at the video. We're also going to be looking at how well the cameras perform in low light and how the audio compares for FPV flight. Alright guys, I'm sure you're tired of hearing the motors yell and scream. So it looks like audio-wise, the Hero5 actually has better audio for FPV flight. It looks like there's a lot less wind noise, a lot less of that kind of whooshing noise. It looks like adding the additional GoPro has made the quads fly terrible. It's got very little power and you can hear the motors trying so hard, giving it all it can, but really no altitude being gained here. If I fly with the Hero5, I'll be able to fly an extra 30 seconds, which doesn't sound like much, but that's about 10% more flight. The Hero7 seems like it's got more of a dynamic range. Even though we're in fairly dark conditions here, it does a better job of capturing the blue in the sky, capturing the sunset as well, and even the grass and the trees have very good detail. When you compare that with the Hero5 Session, the image just looks a lot more washed out. Also, we still see the impact of the 30 frames per second on the Hero5 with the 60 frames per second on the Hero7. The Hero5 just seems a little bit more cinematic, more choppy, whereas the Hero7 has a nice, smooth, kind of buttery feel to it. And bear in mind, both of these have the camera butter ND4 filter on them. Now, what does this all mean? If we look at the Hero5 Session, we know it's small, it's light, it looks better on your quad. It also gives you more flight time because it weighs less and is more streamlined. It's also more durable. It has less parts that can break. There's no display on there, but even it's more durable. Can you find parts for it anyway? It's also tough to find a Hero5 Session in good condition, but also at a good price. It seems like it does have better audio for FPV. Now, when we look at the Hero7, it's easily available. You can find parts for it anywhere. The battery you can swap in and out. You can easily find 3D printed mounts to either purchase or print yourself. It's got better video quality. It has more tuning options, so min-max ISO, 60 frames per second at 2.7K. It's also easier to install an ND filter on the 7 than the 5. So I'm still torn here. I can see pros and cons for both cameras, but I think based on just the video quality alone and the tunability, I'll stick with the Hero 7 as my standard camera and hope that sometime in the future, GoPro will release a refresh session. Because when that happens, it's a no-brainer, the Session wins.